Alright, hello everybody. This is Dragline. I'm just going to give you a little brief preview here of what we're going to be doing. Then I'll show you how to do it. This is a dubstep tutorial using the popular plugin Nexus and how to get wobbles and interesting sounds out of Nexus, even using some of the plain patches that are defaulted in Nexus. You don't necessarily have to have some of the expensive patches or expansion packs that they sell. It does help a little bit, but I do find some of them are a little underwhelming as far as wobbling goes. So I just wanted to show you that you can wobble in Nexus using your own creativity and using the built-in matrix and mod section. Okay, so here's something that I put together, and then I'll show you how I did it. Alright, now I did that using only Nexus, well, other than the beat. So as you can see here, I have several instances of Nexus. Alright, so we're going to go over to this, which is basically, I'm going to show you what I did. Now this is the stock Nexus. As soon as you load up Nexus, you'll see this. It's going to be this sound. And we're going to wobble this sound just to show you that you can wobble any sound. It just has to have a sustain on it. It can't, like, decay, like over time, unless that's the specific sound you're going for. But if you want a sustained wobble, you need something with a sustain. So as long as I hold my note down, that is going to continuously play. So let's go ahead and wobble it. Now you're going to start over in the mod section. And this is where you do it. You have a matrix and an LFO. So we're going to go to LFO. And these are two LFOs here, LFO 1 and then LFO 2. So you want to use sync trigger or sync. Sync trigger basically will re-trigger the speed of the wobble each time you press the note. So that's the one I like to use. Whereas sync will just continually sync the wobble to your host tempo. So no matter what time you hit the note, it's going to wobble based on the sync of the host. And they both have their place, but I'm going to go with sync trigger. So now that we have that set up, this is our speed, 1/2. I'm going to put it up to 1/4, and then I'm going to stick with the typical sine shape, which is a typical sine shape for a wobble. Then we're going to link them. We're going to go into the matrix, and this is where you link one parameter to another. So I'm going to choose the first one, which is LFO 1, and then I'm going to link it to the master cut. You can either link it to the master cut down here, or you can link it to the regular cut under the filter modifier. But I'm going to do the master cut. So you choose here. You can see there's a huge list of parameters, and I'm going to choose master cut. I'm going to put that all the way up, and then I'm going to turn on my mask filter. I'm going to bring the cut down a little bit because we're starting off from right here and wobbling all this whole section. I'm going to turn my resonance up a bit. And now listen. Now make sure that your type of filter is set to low pass. And these are 3 different slopes, so listen. Slope 6 will give you a little bit more presence, and down to 24 you'll find a little bit more cutoff of that presence. So it depends on what kind of sound you're going for. Alright, so now we have that bass wobble going. Now say you don't like the sound that it's wobbling, but you want to keep these settings without having to change them again. So there's an easy way to do that. You can just simply click on the little lock tab right here. That's going to lock this matrix, so we keep those settings. So now we're going to head over to the library, and I'm going to go find a nastier sound. I think it's this one, Bloodsaw 3. Yeah, I like that. But notice how it's not wobbling anymore. And that's because anytime you choose a different patch, it's automatically going to turn off your master filter. So we need to turn that back on again, because remember, we're wobbling the master filter cutoff. We're going to bring the cutoff down again, resonance up again. And now if you want to keep, you can either wobble the entire frequency spectrum of that particular sound, or you can keep a little bit of the low ends in there just for some sustained bass presence. It's up to you. And so what I've done here, what I am going to do here, is put in some note information. And these I've already got. Now what I normally would do here, and this is me showing you how to create that pattern that I showed you earlier, and what you would normally do in this situation using Nexus in FL Studio. What I would do is I would set this, I'm going to go ahead and just as an example, set this to say 1/2. Now I like that sound. I'm going to clone it, and then I'm going to go in, put in some more note information there. Except this time I'm going to change the speed to 1/4. And now I've already cloned these two as well. This one's set to the speed of 1/8. This one is set to the speed of 1/16. And I just pre-did this before the video to save some time. So now let's listen to them. Let's listen to them in pattern mode. And I think I also changed the Bloodsaw 3. Oh, that one's on Bloodsaw 2. Okay, but yeah, you get the idea. So now another trick that you can do, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to use two different LFOs. So I'm going to go back to the mod matrix, and I'm going to go to LFO, and I'm going to set up LFO 2 using sync trigger. I'm going to put it on, say, like 1/8. Keep it on sine wave. And then I'm going to go back to the matrix. I'm going to choose LFO 2 this time. I'm going to link it to the master cut again, only I'm going to link like half of it. So let's hear how that sounds. So notice how it sounds different. As opposed to just that. Now I can also change this to like a saw, so it sounds a little bit sharper. Maybe drop this down a little bit. So you can link lots of different stuff in here. Unfortunately, there's only 2 LFOs in Nexus. The rest of these are like mod wheels for like MIDI controllers and stuff. Because Nexus is primarily meant to be used with a MIDI controller, I believe. In fact, even in FL Studio, a lot of this is hard to automate. And you certainly can't automate these parameters. You can't automate these speeds. Because look, if I mess around with this, I tweak it a couple times, and I go up to options, tools, last tweaked, it's going to show that the last tweaked thing was my attack, which was the last thing that I tweaked, not my speed for my LFO. So I can't automate that. I can automate these knobs, but I can't automate that. And that's the exact reason why I made copies and then altered them. So what you do is you basically sculpt them, you narrow them down, you change the libraries, or I mean you change the patches to get the sounds you want, because any good dubstep riff is going to have variation in the sounds that you're using. It's going to have variation in time, and it's going to have various effects applied to it just to make it sound interesting. And so using those techniques, cutting stuff up, moving them up and down to create a melody on the note scale, you can get something like this, which is just what I finished. So now let's hear that again. All right, now I hope that helped all of you who use Nexus. And this isn't the only way to do it. This is just one way to skin a cat. There's so many ways that you can put together a riff. And if you notice, I also extended this out to be an 8-bar pattern, and of course put the beat behind it. But yeah, this was basically just to show you how to do it in Nexus in FL Studio, which is my DAW of choice. I've always loved it. Been using it for about 10 years now. So if you like this tutorial and you like what you're hearing, head on over to my SoundCloud page, which I'm going to post a description of I'm going to post a link to in my description of this video. And listen to a bunch of my music. Give me some follows, some comments, and let me know what you think. So this video is getting pretty long now, so I'm going to have to sign out. And thanks for watching, guys. And I appreciate your feedback. All right, peace.